say, you down there. Yes, I'm talking to you. Don't raise your voice to me. This is a library. Shh. Quiet. Quieten down with that page turning. This is a library, not a nightclub. What do you want? Do forgive me, where are my manners? Hello there. What is it that you want? Welcome back to OAG Library Establishment. This is a friendly announcement. Enjoyment, loud page turning, and pen scribbling are not permitted in this library, along with talking, mobile telephones, and lower class individuals. We hope you are able to select your desired books in the comfort of silence and a relaxing atmosphere. If you see anyone who looks like they're not an academic, please report them to our friendly library manager located at the entrance. Thank you and enjoy your visit. I must get that changed. Let me just inspect you. I'm just having a little closer look. You don't look like you've come to the right place. You do realize you are in a library. This is a place of learning, reading, for the knowledgeable. You certainly look like none of those things. If you're looking for the park or the pub or any of those places for lower class type people where you can just walk out of here, go out of town and just disappear somewhere, that would probably suit you a little bit better. Here is a place where we read books, where we learn in a polite, well-mannered way, in which our customers are accustomed. Oh, please, no. You reading books. Do forgive me if I'm being a bit too polite here, but you certainly don't look like the type of person who reads books. You look like the type of person who reads a box, a television screen, or the type of person who enjoys a drink, probably enjoys several drinks. You look like the type of person who would probably pick up an iPad, that hard case book, something which has actual words written in it, printed properly, not all this nonsense with this modern day rubbish, which certainly looks like you delve into. What do you mean you have books to return? I most certainly did not let you take any books from this library. I've never ever seen you in this library, so why do you expect to think that I would have let you take books out? No. Let me just check my records here. There must be some kind of mistake. You're probably in the wrong library. Either that or you've stolen my books. What have we got here? What was your name again? Horrible name. Okay. What horrible name to match your horrible personality. Are you sure it was I that served you? I'm pretty sure and quietly confident that I would recognize a face like yours. Let's just say you have that distinctive look, one you wish to glance upon merely only a second, and then glance at something else more favorably pleasing. Let's just say you're not so easy on the eyes. So this matter with the books, when did you take these books out? Who allows you in this library? You certainly caught me by surprise, as I would not have let you in to my library to select any of my shelves of books. Well, this is filled with books with all sorts of knowledge, containing sorts of stories, information, which would help enhance your human brain. Okay, I'm kind of getting a little bit bored of your tedious excuses here. This is what I'm going to do. I have something very special with me here. Are you familiar with this particular contraption? Indeed, it does. It allows me to set a time to almost anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it over, and by the time that has then I expect you to part ways from my library with the books returned, which you so claim to have borrowed from us. But borrowed meaning your version of stealing, no doubt. So I'll do something incredibly simple right now. I shall turn this contraption over, and then when it runs out, I expect you to be out of this library with no books in your hand, what you would have claimed as borrowing and leasing from the library, but I would probably interpret that as stealing, and yes, which someone of your caliber is very familiar with. So I shall flip that over. Time is ticking. Tick tock, tick tock. Tick tock, tick tock. So you have some time there. So please, what books have you got to return here? Before we get started, there was a slight period where I had a customer who was, let's say, just a little bit different, and I had to ease their way out of the library. Someone did stand in for me then. I expect that you took your books out then. How convenient it was that time, because I would not have let you take in those books. What a coincidence for you. Right, so let me price those books from your unwanted hands there, and we can get them returned back to me in the library, and you can make your way out of the library. Okay, oh, the time glasses, they're doing well there. So if you just pop your books on the desk here, just be careful, be gentle with the books. The books are delicate. And I shall go through each one, give them a stamp, let the system know that you have been returned. Okay. Well, you seem like you're familiar with the process, but you're not. You're not a library person. Okay. So we seem to have had quite a collection here that you have taken out. Interesting collection. So we shall go through these books one by one. And what I'm going to do is just check that every book is as it should be. So this is a quality control check for every book. Well, I will have to examine each one as fast as I can and make sure it has not been harmed in any way. The binding is fragile on many of these books, so we have to take extra care to make sure that you have not ruined anything with this book. Make sure the pages flip like pages. Each book has different textures, so please allow me to do what I've got to do. You please don't look at me, put me off, just don't pretend like you're not looking at me. 1 second. Excuse me. Yes, you. Be quiet. I'm serving someone. This is a library. Okay. Right. Okay. Yes. Don't look at me. Just. Okay. This is Bradshaw's handbook, and this is Bradshaw going across many railways talking about railway stories. So someone like you certainly doesn't look like you read something like this. Trying to give off the illusion that you are somewhat knowledgeable and classy with our public transport system. Of course you are. So this book seems to be in working order, so I shall put this through the system. Okay, and give it a stamp. Sign that off. And now just update it. Everything is modern these days. Did you handle that book much? Just carrying it here. This was on the outside, mind you, so. have been, I'm afraid. Okay, just give it a little brush down, get rid of all the smells that might have been carried near you. Oh, that could be quite handy. So, right. Oh, how interesting. A leap year of great stories, 366 from history for every day of the year. This is an interesting book here, trying to once again create the illusion of knowledge, and maybe an academic perhaps, or just your general trivia of history, historical events. But you will not follow me, I'm afraid. So let me check this book. This is a library. We're quiet at a library. Book seems okay. Unfortunately, I've touched it all, but just if there's any excess that I may have missed, I'll be able to sterilize my hands after this, and that the books won't be able to. Stamp, and we'll get that stamped. Okay, sign it. Cross out your name. Don't want a name like that in a book like this. And in the system it goes. Excellent. Next, please. Bear with me. You down there, I told you about that page flipping. If I see any more page flipping, or hear any more page flipping as loud as that, you, my friend, will be escorted out of this library. profess yourself as a bit of a musician, do you? How interesting. I expect you probably picked this up from the shelf because you saw a pirate on the front. Tricorn hat, pirate coat, bandana, pistols, a sword. Oh, typical pirate, looking pirate. But do you know anything about it? Probably not. Well, you probably were expecting some pirate story, some lavish, extravagant adventure for children, mind you. Of course, this book is a sheet music book. So you are trying to immerse yourself in some Victorian culture with these two geniuses, Gilbert and Sullivan, who created many operas. This is personally one of my favourites and contains all the sheet music and the lyrics of their plays. Though it is a great shame that you yourself have touched it, so I'm afraid I'm probably going to have to get replacement for this one. But Pirates of Penzance, and once again, especially for you, a pirate. Seems to work in order there. The binding is still intact. My favourite pieces from Gilbert and Sullivan, Pirates of Penzance. There's a song called With Catlight Tread. Something you're probably familiar with. It's a band of merry pirates seeking their revenge on a general. So they decide to rob his place, his house, break into his grounds with the catlight tread, as the song is called. And I almost feel like this song relates to our situation right now, with you almost breaking into my library and walking in. And though you have already stolen the items, and you bring them back to return, and you've walked in with catlight tread, though I've caught you, and you're very unwelcome. This book has great sheet music pages, nice and thick, A4. It's a good thickness. The kind of fine book you would expect to get from my library. you have been struck from the book and pop it in the system. Well, you seem to be having quite the book party when you took out all these books. I assure you that I would not let you take more than one, because I expect someone like you probably takes quite a while to read through these books. And of course, if they're not novels, if they're non-fiction, then I expect you've probably got a little bit of problem for drawing your interest and immersing yourself in whatever you're reading. I think picture books is your ilk. So, so you're trying to immerse yourself into Tolkien and Lord of the Rings. Well, I would say Tolkien is for someone like you. This requires imagination when you're reading, and to understand the creator of the masterpiece, which is the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, where the inspiration came from, where cultures came from, originated from, myth and mythology, a lot of Norse influences in cultures such as Rohan. But I wouldn't expect you to know much of that. You probably haven't even read this book. Probably just had a look and browsed at the pictures, for example. I don't know. Here we have a sort of Norman-looking Viking type person here. Are you familiar with the Norman Conquest? Well, if you're not, then I wouldn't call yourself a true Englishman if you're not familiar with the most pivotal moment in our past. But as you can see, many divine designs and influences, along with the helmet there, the weapon, the shields, and it translates into the cultures of Lord of the Rings. So this is a great guide and a book to introduce yourself into the world of Tolkien, get an extra understanding and a grasp of how it was all created. But I expect you looked at the pictures. This book not only reads and captivates you, inspires, it sounds like a true book. Hopefully it hasn't been too tampered by your touch. Thankfully, it's still in good condition. stamp. Okay. I nearly left your name in there. Oh, I see your time glass is nearly running out. Time is nearly run out for you. Ah, okay. So, you really had quite a diverse selection of books out with you. Something I would not have thought you would familiarise yourself with. And this is Nelson's Trafalgar and the Battle of Trafalgar. Something if you find yourself to be a bit upper class and nautical, being an island nation, we must all know how to sail. I take it you know how to sail. Of course you can't sail. Really, I don't even know why I asked you that question. That's absurd. Of course you don't sail. You're more of a deckhand, shall I say. At least you are trying to educate yourself in the ways of tactics at sea, and how the Battle of Trafalgar was indeed won. I notice it does hold a couple of images in here, sketches. Yes, I could see these have fingerprints all over them. I could tell you've taken probably a lot of time looking at the images, but not actually read the words. People like you are just drawn to the imagery, sucked in like moths to a light. Yes, well, a lot of fingerprints on there, so I think we're just... Yes, I'll give this a... See how this book sounds. If it's in good book order, it could be returned back to the shelf. we have successfully returned all the items which you stole. Do forgive me, I mean borrowed from this library. The books all sound fine, and luckily for you, very good working order for a book, ready for our normal visitors to learn, take home, indulge in a pleasant read, relax, just take some time to either immerse themselves into whatever they're reading, take by page, and enjoy the books. Unlike you, who just probably stares at them and doesn't do much with it. It borrows books from libraries to, no doubt, make it look like you read books and don't drink plenty and do things people like you do in your spare time. Well, I have a lot of work to do here. I take it that you will not be borrowing any more books. Well, I'm afraid for you, the time glass has indeed run out, so that is your time over. I do believe it is your time to disperse and make your way out of this library. Just about turn and make your way into that direction where there are no books out there for you to ponder and select for you to take. Once you take a book in this library, you are able to take books out in a year or so later. That is the policy, I'm afraid. And because you took out, how many books we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. You took out 4 books. That means a 4-year wait until your next loan, I'm afraid. Well, no need to talk to me. Your time has indeed run out. So if you can just be nice, quiet, relaxing for me. We do have people in here trying to read. Don't really wish to see you. If you could take a little brisk walk out for me, but keep quiet, keep very, very quiet. Don't let anyone see you, and I don't wish to put any of my readers off. Would you do that for me? Great, very pleasant. Well, I must get back to sorting these books out here, so cheerio. I say one more thing. Just be quiet when you're making footstep noises there.